Good afternoon, successful agers. How are you? Sorry, I'm running a couple of minutes late. Oh no! There's me promising to get on early and talk about tips for surviving lockdown and successful aging and everything around that. Yeah, and what is non-negotiable for us in lockdown. Yeah, it's getting to that point where it's almost bad hair day every day, but we will work on it. All right, guys, today we are looking at strengthening the thighs, the in and out of thighs, and stretching them. We will be using a strap for the stretching, otherwise it's just body weight. We're going to start off with an aerobic warm-up, so get yourself up there and walk it out. So I've got the strap there. You don't have to use it, just really helps you to get a good stretch. Yeah. All right, so we're going to start off tapping out side to side. So a gentle pulse raiser here before we start to work the muscles. You can add the arms, keep them nice and small, or a little bit up to the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are happy here. 8 more, that's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, loose the arms, now tap behind, right and left. So a little bit of mobility around the hips, into the thighs, add the arms, bicep curl for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, keep the legs loose, the arms, 4, 3, keep the feet in, take them a little bit wider, into a squat, down and up. Fabulous. Let's take the legs a little wider and warming up really nicely on this PA squat. Body's upright, knees out, tracking over the toes. Last 4, and then we're going to, so this week is taking those exercises down onto the floor. All right, so we're going to be lying on our side. Make sure the head is supported. You might actually want to have a pillow. I'm going to start off with the outer thigh. Now, this is pretty, I need to change my camera. Make sure you have your head supported and find your neutral spine. We're going to work the outer thigh of the top leg. Bottom leg is bent for balance. This is not a balance exercise. Make sure your waistband is lifted. Your top leg is straight down. You can see the toes in front of your body and your foot is flexed. So we're just gently going to lift the leg up and lower it down. So in this position here, we have a pretty good range of movement and the leg is moving directly against gravity, yeah, which is the way that without external weights or an anchor point, we need to work it. Can we do singles? Press 8. Keep the tension on the muscle. Lift a little, hold, and down. So we don't want to have a rest at the bottom there, ideally, for 4, 3, 2, last one, and rest. So let me just remind you that we're looking at pure strengthening in the muscle. There's a lot of little things we do, like leg circles in Pilates to challenge the core, but it's not working those muscles for the full range, and it's not that functional for strength training in the muscle. So we're going to go straight on to inner thighs. So I've got that back leg for support, and we need to get that bottom inner thigh facing the ceiling as much as possible. Yeah, so that's quite, I find that if you could have the leg forward and maybe you get in a bit different position, but make sure you don't have that front knee on the floor. So the thing here, we are working in the thigh, but it's not the full range of movement, so it's quite difficult to work the inner thigh muscles unless you have an external anchor and some equipment. So we do tend to do a lot of these, and we're used to doing a lot of strengthening exercises on the floor, but they're not that functional. So I just wanted to review them because they are an option, but going forward, if you're serious about strengthening your muscles and your bones, then really we need to be looking at more functional exercises. So let's go on to the other side and work that outer thigh. Yeah. So it's nice, it's important to work, muscles come in pairs, it's important that we work both, yeah? So today I chose to work them both in the same class, so we've got a limited amount of reps on each exercise, on each leg. I just want to also educate you a little bit here. So when do we really need that strength? In the outside of the hip and the outside of the leg in this position. Yeah, so it's not that functional. We do some single counts. So we want to keep neutral spine. So the reason why we do a lot of Pilates on the floor is because a lot of it is core work, but it is not necessarily that functional. Last 4 here. So you have a good range of movement. The only thing is your spine is supported, and as I say, you really don't have to work very much on your core stability when we're lying on the floor. And when in everyday life do you want to be strong in that particular position? So let's support now the position here with the back. You can have the leg behind, knee to the ceiling. It's quite difficult to get that bottom leg straight. You do want it straight down from the hip joint there. So maybe bring that top leg in front, but you don't want that knee because that rotates the hip forward and twists your lumbar spine. We don't want that, yeah? So if we're going to lift, when we do this, think about lifting from the inner thigh. But if you see the reduced range of movement that you have in that bottom leg there, it's just from your straight neutral position, taking it towards the midline, where actually it has a much wider range of movement, and we need to be working. So you think, well, why am I doing that? Because sometimes we might need to do the exercises on the floor for some reason. And we often do in a Pilates class, but the focus would be more on keeping the core still and core strength. Yeah. All right. So then we're going to go on and we're going to stretch them. So it's quite hard to stretch them effectively without a strap. So if you have something, or just get one and do them later. I'm going to take the strap around the right leg. Get the microphone out of the way. The strap is towards the heel. I'm going to do an inner thigh stretch. So right leg, right arm, take the left arm out to the side, left knee out to the side, and ease that right leg out. So a good stretch for the inner thigh, but you've got that angle at the hip joint. So is it that functional? Perhaps not, but it's much, much better than not doing it at all. Bring everything back to the center, same leg, change hands. Yeah, so right leg, left arm. You want to get that leg as vertical as you can. But if you feel tight in the hamstrings, you need to release the strap a little bit. Take your right arm out to the side, and you're going to ease. I think we've done this somewhere along the line, one of the evenings. Take it across the body till the hip comes off the floor. Stop. Keep the leg still and pull the hip back. Sounds like someone's thumping, doing something. I don't know. Strange, yeah? And then come back. So to change, we can change other leg, inner thigh stretch. Yeah, so it's definitely better than not stretching out those inner thighs at all. But when I'm looking at strength training per se, then we want to make it really functional, and the stretch is the best that we can. Because that's the focus, yeah? Okay, and then we come over into the outer thigh stretch. We extend that right leg along the floor and compensate with the left arm out to the side. If you feel it in the hamstrings, as I said, release that tension on the strap, and the hip comes off, but pull the hip back and stretching through the outside of the hip and the thigh. So we do a lot of these exercises in Pilates, but the focus is different. And definitely the focus of Pilates is not pure strength training. Yeah. Okay, so then we're going to come back to the center. Let's release the band off there, bend the legs, roll over onto the side, and we'll just finish off. It's also good to have a nice, while we're talking about that, I've just got 30 seconds. We started a minute late, didn't we? So let's have a look at inner thigh mobility. So sitting right up on your sit bones, if you find that's difficult, then you need to sit yourself on a block so that you get your pelvis upright. Yeah, you might want to soften the knees here, but get the toes towards the ceiling. So how wide, I'm careful on this one, don't overstretch those muscles, but how wide are your thighs there? How wide are your legs? So what we're looking for is a line straight. Let's get rid of that music there for a moment. Line straight forward in front of you here. Yeah, a line out to the side. So you've got that right angles. and the leg should be in the middle, a 45-degree angle. Yeah, so it's important that if your legs are here, what is the restriction? It might be in the hip, it might be tight in the thigh muscles. Yeah, so you need to get a little bit of a postural analysis there, and you don't need it any wider. If you have it any wider than that, you're looking at instability in the hip joint. Let's loosen out the shoulders there, guys. Take a nice inhale. And it's a beautiful day today. I hope it is where you are. So get yourself outside. Again, non-negotiable for lockdown is getting yourself outside in nature. So hopefully there's a park near where you live, and don't drive 5 miles to get somewhere. I think that's a bit sad that those girls were picked up there. Because if you go somewhere beautiful, it's going to have such a better effect. You're going to walk further. It's going to really help you with your mental health. Yeah. Okay, guys, I will see you this evening. We got one of my favorite balance exercises to do. Very, very functional balance exercise. Yeah, so check in with me at 5:30 today. Have a great afternoon. And thanks for watching. If you're here, say hello. And if you watch it on replay, put hashtag replay. Okay, guys, and let me know how you're getting on.